Today's video is going to be on a Kawasaki ZRX, speedo cable replacement and instrument cluster lights. Right, today we're going to be doing a speedo change or speedometer cable change on a ZRX Kawasaki 2006, and the tools we have to do this with. It's first time, so I hope I've got the right tools. I can aim it down there without losing my phone. Right, we've got a assortment of Allen keys and Torx drivers, which should only need Allen key hopefully, a pair of needle nose pliers and a pair of normal pliers and a Phillips screwdriver. And what I intend to do is take off the nose cone fairing because it's quite tight, and to do this we need a probably a 5mm Allen key. So I'm going to start wrong size. Wrong size. Got deceptive bigger than we think. It's probably a size I haven't got actually. Oh, that fits. Yep. That's a captive nut on the back, so that will unscrew out of there. Right, put nut down there, and got a Phillips screw, sorry, in the back here. Turn that around. I think it's like an L-shaped clip in there. And that's coming out there. Get a bit floppy, so something's happening. The nice little captive nuts and the washers as well, holding on in there. So Phillips is out of there. It looks like it could be a clip on the bottom as well. Get a proper 10mm, not a 3/8. Black. God, these are a bit rusty. Going to need a little bit of WD-40 on there, some penetrating oil, because that is a little bit rusty, and I think they're going to shear off if I'm not careful. Right, got some WD-40. I'm going to spray in the top there. 1, keep it cool, and 2, ease it out. Yeah, that's working. Because as you know, when something gets hot it expands, so if you're undoing a rusty nut and it's really tight, 1, use like some kind of lubricant, and 2, don't be afraid to come back to it or give it a couple of turns on one. Yeah, that's sheared off, that one. I was going to say, and come back to it, because the hotter it gets, the more it expands. Funny, this one was the tightest, and I thought this one was going to snap if any of them. Yeah, look. Or I can lean over, and with the Phillips and the Allen key, is take off the other side of the fairing, like we did on that one, which was, say, one Phillips in the side. It's like an L bracket. Oh, got fingers. And the Allen key, which I'll go around here and do it. And then this should lift off, or if it doesn't, yes it does. You have got the little light on the top, which is the running light, which you turn about a quarter of a turn and then it will pull out, almost like a painted fitting on a light hold, light in the house, light fitting in the house. Right, so that's off. Only one casualty with the bolt, which was down the bottom here, which I might see if I can drill out. But now we can access the speedo cable, but also the headlight was out in this as well. So I'm going to take this time to check the bulb and that in the headlight. Right, the running light. Let me take you out of there a minute. Pause. Hand out the way. Right. Yeah, so that should be lights. We've got nothing. Indicator. That's working. But we have horn we got. You don't turn it a second turn, do you? No. Steering lock. Right, so that. So we've got a clock light out there, and we have a headlight out. So I'm going to take the headlight out and going to have a look, see what's wrong with the bulbs in there as well. So I'm going to come back to you. Right, got this headlight off. There's a pain in the backside. There's a adjuster there, which is all I could see. I've got a bit better light now, so probably better for filming and better for me old mince pies as well. But there is a 10mm bolt. You've got the two, I think they're 13mm that go for the side, one either there, and you got this 10mm there, which is on the side there. So it's a 10mm socket which goes in the side in there, and that bolts the adjuster. I was trying to unbolt the adjuster, which is 8mm. Focus, and that was just spinning on the back. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit and I'll paint that before I put it back in. But that's how you remove the headlight on a ZRX. So bolt there either side, where are we? Either side of the headlight, and then we've got a 10mm on that adjuster there, which goes in that side, and that is it. That's all what holds that big bracket in there, and then that will come free. Undone the speedo cable, and we can see there where it's broken. Put my headlight down before that gets broken. So there's the length of it there, and there's a bend which comes down through there, and I believe that's where it was broken, on that bend. Must have been too sharp or done a lot of stoppies or something, and it's, see, it's broken that there just on that joint, and that's where that bend is there on the cable. So maybe poor lubrication or just a bend, but that's it. So I'm going to go away for a bit now. I'm going to put that cable on and take 2 minutes. Well, I'll put it on when I do it, but I'm going to take the headlight cluster off, and I'll take a picture of that behind there, and I'm going to replace the bulbs that are missing in there, and I'm going to, well, I presume it's the bulb in there. I'm going to take that off and I'll take a picture of that just to see why the brakes weren't working. And I'm going to get a bit of steel wool or something on there, some real fine sandpaper, and just clean them pits off of rust. At least then it shouldn't damage the seals too much. It's a quick little video here. When I took this spring off, it flew off, which I didn't expect it to, but it took me about 5 minutes to suss it out. It goes back on. But I'm sure once you get the headlight off, you'll experience the same thing. So those who haven't got patience, this is how it goes back on. Right, so you push that down and then that springs off. So that headlight bulb will only go in one way. So it's nearly always at the top, the flat terminal, which I think is the earth. And then, let's get this in focus, see if I can do it in the camera. That hooks underneath there. Got a catch, see? So you pinch the loop in your fingers. You have it with the top bit there facing you. And then that hooks underneath there. Focus. And that just sits flat on there, and it bends down and springs under there. You might find this is trivial and you might be very lucky that it doesn't spring off, or you might just be a genius or good at puzzles, but it had me fox about 5 minutes, and time is precious, especially at my age. So that's how you get it back on, and that's how that clip sits. You'll probably find that it'll just be sitting there, or someone's put silicone in there because they couldn't be asked to get it sussed out. But that's how it clips in, pushes down, springs round there, comes over, and it hooks out of there. This bulb, incidentally, looks alright. Get it focus. So both main beam and normal headlights. So I'm going to test the connector now and see if we've got a live feed. It could be that we've got a fuse gone, or there's bad earth or something like that. So I'm going to test it out now and I'll come back to you. Right, silly me. Just done a bit of research before I started pulling the bike apart. Must be a relay inside, but on these Kawasaki ZRXs, they only come on when the engine started. So when you put the ignition on, you get your little driving daylight or whatever it's called. That'll come on, and your tail light. But it's not until you start the engine up that relay must kick in and it energizes the headlight. So I've got a headlight and I've got main beam as well. So nothing wrong with that. Just thought I'd let you know that it's quite comical actually. A few people have had the same problem as well, but there's nothing wrong with it. It comes on when the engine starts up, and my headlight and main beam work perfect. So I'm going to pull the back clocks off here, back of the binnacles off, and replace the light, or find out what bulb it is so I can get another one, so I've got the lights working inside the instrument cluster. Right, I'm going to draw this video to a close, and it's going to be a part 2 obviously. Well, not obviously, but there's going to be. But that's where the nut broke off at the bottom. It seized off, so I'm going to have to draw that off. I'm going to take this carrier off here, which is just 2 more 10mm nuts that are left holding that on, and then strip it down, take the indicators off and rubber, and I'll see how hard it is to I might just take a wide brush to it, or I might be able to speak to my friend to sandblast it for us if he's working local, and then I'll get some satin black. Ideally it should be powder coated, but I've got a powder coater, but I'll probably just paint it satin black and maybe lacquer it. That'll give it a bit of protection. But what I've done, I've ordered some I think they call them T5s. I think they're 1.2 watt T5 bulbs, and 3 of them are gone. This one, some reason that there's a smaller one in that one. I don't know what that is, but it's just a lot smaller. But it's another sort of instrument light, and that one and that one, they've all 3 of them have blown. So I've ordered think 10 basic ones, but I've got the LED replacement and they're like a Cree, so I'll see how bright they are. And I also ordered some green ones as well, LED, so I'll see how good they are, but they'll probably take a couple of days to be delivered. So speedo cable, obviously I found a problem with that. The lights, the bulbs should come in a couple of days, and I'll try both. I'll try the green and I'll try the Cree, the LED, but they're both LED replacements. So I'm going to unbolt this cradle, take that the headlight carrier off there, and get that cleaned up and then painted, and then I'm going to do a bit of research, find out the best way to deal with the pitting on the forks, and I'm going to clean up inside there as well, and paint what I can, and just clean up what I can, and clean down all the cables and get the forks cleaned up as well. So in a couple of days I'll do another video, and it'll be like part 2, and hopefully it'll be a lot cleaner then, and we can try the different bulbs, and I'll bring you along to see what you think's best. Bye for now. To remove this plastic casing off the back of the speedo and rev counter binnacle, or clocks, what you want to call it, there's 3 Phillips screws in there. As you can see, the 3 holes there, there and there. So under the Phillips screws, and you have to be a bit rough with them. There's a nut on the bottom which catches a little bit on there, but as I say, you have to be a little bit forceful, and it's quite durable and it will come off. So yeah, just under the 3 screws and just wiggle it around a bit and pull it down, and it will just pop off, and that'll give you access to the back of the clocks and the lights.